So the decoys are on with a standard, your medium. This is a medium-sized clip. Normally use it, Office Depot or something. And then there's a piece of Velcro. So there's Velcro on each side and the clip to hold it on. This is just a piece of metal. I believe it was off a U-clamp for a pipe that could easily be bent and drilled. So all I did is replace the screw in the bottom of it. So that's essentially how I mounted them on. So this is the decoy that I added the wings to. The theory here again is to try to make it look more realistic. So let's look at it. So it's just the same Velcro and the steel and the piece of metal on the bottom to hold it there in place. So on this one, it's a piece of HDPE thin plastic, and what I did is I took a picture of a martin flying up overhead off the internet, printed it out to about scale, cut the picture out, placed it on this plastic sheet, traced it, cut this out, put it on so they won't flap in the wind, but it gives a silhouette from a distance of a bird that's actually maybe trying to fly as a decoy. So I've had a lot of questions on Facebook about how the cage is constructed. So it's basically simple. This is 2-inch by 3-inch fabric from Tractor Supply for gardening. It's the green coated. What I'm doing is using these vinyl siding trim pieces and cutting openings and putting the trim on the bottom. That gives the birds, the birds adapt to it, and they eventually say, I'm going to land here and go in, instead of trying to land here in the middle somewhere. So, I did some that were 3. I don't have one right here. So I did some that were 3 openings, which is 6 inches and 3 inches high. They don't like these as much. I have some that are 4 openings, so like this one. So these are 8 inches across and 3 high, and they land on these the most. I actually opened these up in the season for a nesting pair that was in this gourd here. So there is a little bit of a distance, about a foot, that they hop across to go over there. They didn't seem to have a problem with it. So I am using these. This is the vinyl siding trim piece. This is just gray. Color I don't think really matters. It's more of a marker. And you cut a piece that's going to be the width you need. And then what I end up doing is take scissors and cut this off. Basically doing this right here, you just take scissors, don't cut your fingers off, but do that right there, and you end up with this piece, and this goes over the wire here, and gives the bird something to land on, because the wire does have some sharp edges. So I do recommend some really good wire cutters, and I try to get it as close as I can. This one I didn't do a very good job, so there we go, that's better. So this gives you an idea. You want to try to get it smooth on top and cut the opening and put this on get this smooth on the bottom, and then you put the vinyl siding trim. This is their target to land on. They land here like a perch, jump across. So that is the hub assembly. Now the hub assembly is modified, and then it's got the angles projected up above it, and then there's a frame. The angle frame is above it, and then there's 4 braces coming back down almost from the corners. They're not quite. This one's a corner, that one's not at a corner, and then the other side it's from a corner there and not quite a corner here. They're basically the braces are installed to miss the gourds and hit the hub. That's the basis of the braces. Okay, so I also had a few questions on some of the Facebook groups this season about the I guess it's an owl protective cage that I had made and put on these. This is a T12 house. This is a house from Nature Unlimited that's made out of the plastic with the porches. It's a really nice house. He actually put an aluminum rod down here and anchored it to the bottom that way. And then what I did is I put 4 gourds on it, but I had to shift them so I could actually spin the wheel or the handle back there in the back. But I built these, and basically it's flat against this side and flat against this side. This is that 2x3 wire that I used up there, and I made it so that I tie wrapped it and wired it to the top 2 places on both sides. And down here, it's pretty cool. I set it up so I take that piece, that wire, I can take that one off, and I can unhook this one. Of course, I'm using 2 hands when I'm really doing it, and it's designed so that it kind of pivots up like this. And on their house, there's a magnet, so all you do is pull this off, and they have a magnet on there. I need to clean this. Anyway, and then I can access the trays that are inside this house. By the way, this nest and this nest had 5 fledglings that hit the air pretty much within the same day. Like 2 days, all 10 were gone. So, and then that snaps on there real nice, and then all this just basically goes back down, and then I put a piece of stainless wire here and here, and that holds it on. So the holes I cut in it basically are, I just used, I cut out 2 notches. So these are smaller, so these would be 4 inches wide, 3 inches tall, here, and then I did one here for that perch, did them here and at the top, and then I did them on the side as well, where the birds can land. That most of the time they'll land here and go in, and they'll come out the side, or they can come out the back for that matter. It wings out a little bit. It didn't cover the sides. This one's the same way. This one's the same way. I actually had nothing nesting in the back at all this year. So, but I had the guards made just in case. The purpose and the idea behind the guard is, if a bird is sitting on the porch, or on this perch, if the babies are sitting here, if a hawk comes through, I've seen actually hawks come by and actually like grab one. If this is completely unprotected like this, I've seen hawks come by and literally snatch one off, or they can almost grab their head. If their head's poking out, they'll grab a head and yank one out too. And there's not a whole lot that the adults can do about that. This idea here is it sticks out. Hopefully you can see it's about at least the distance of the porch. It's a little bit more than the porch distance, and it creates an obstruction. I'm just trying to make it more difficult, more of a challenge for the hawk to be able to do any damage to anything on the porch. I didn't have any issues with the ones on this porch here, even though it was on the side. So my idea, the theory was, I'm guessing, is that if it sticks out enough here and on this side, even if he does come in, he's almost got to come into this notch to get to this one. So anyway, that's it.